How the Lawrence brothers stole the industry. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the Moto merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine and jets and donuts.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. We got some ruts to look through today. Lawrence Camp, welcome to the swimming pool. This is an interesting one, friends. This is an interesting one indeed. It is so multi-layered, and it really circles back. It's weird. A lot of stuff does to the pandemic. The pandemic produced a lot of craziness. It produced playoffs. It produced World Supercross. It produced a lot of things, but one of the biggest things it produced was Lucas Myrtle and the Lawrences and marketing these guys. We had never, ever seen anything like this in the sport. Sure, we've had stars emerge from the Bubbas to the McGraths to the Rickies, you name it. We've had some polarizing figures in our sport. These generational talents, even like Pastrana, who never went on to win massive championships, but just became this personality that commanded attention, and the industry circled the wagons around these guys, but never like we saw before. The agent representation now has gone next level. Case in point is really one of the things, and I know Jetson really didn't want this. I think early on he was this young, dumb kid going along for the ride. He was just part of the machine. But when they produced, we had never seen, they were selling Jetson donuts in the stadiums. You could go buy 6 donuts for $20 or whatever it was. And that was, I believe, Lucas Myrtle that orchestrated that. And it all started as a joke where Jetson was just bringing a box of donuts for the truck or the fans, and then it just became this thing, and then so somebody just ran with it. But in order to get the licensing, in order to sell in the stadiums, because you can go to the merchandising truck and buy event tees and things like that, but that was all part of the industry. That was, the industry had that corner. They weren't going to let you sell merch, or not merch, but food, donuts in this case, in the stadiums. So this was something we've never, ever seen before. I'm not sure they're going to have it next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But Jetson, after he, basically he realized what was going on, he started tattooing himself. He started trying to get a little bit chippy out there with other riders, like the Endo incident. But then what they also added was this Lawrence VIP factory fun experience or whatever. And that's something the industry had never done before until the crisis. They're like, hey, we want to get a bigger market share. We're going to cross-market this thing. We're going to have Telemundo. We've got all these illegals in the country now. That's a big, they're going to want to watch. We've got all, they fully crossed the line and went borderline woke, right? And way too progressive. But the facts are this. I mean, we had VIP experiences, but those were all ran by the industry. Those were not the teams. They were not the riders. This was licensing and profit sharing. And they circled the wagons around Jetson. He was, in fact, the poster boy. He was the industry darling. But something is happening now. One of the things that's happening is Danger Boy Deegs. Danger Boy Deegs has come in and stolen a lot of that. And a lot of that is purely because of their YouTube channel was so massive. And then second was the fact the kid had this bad boy persona. He comes from bad boy kind of lineage. And the kid could ride. He started smoking everybody. And then a lot of the fanfare now is going towards Danger. Then you add the fact that up until this point, nobody's really been able to challenge Jetson. We haven't seen him really push. Now, it was good to see at Washougal. He had a washout. The bike looked a little chattery. I don't know if he was, he was kept a little more honest than we've seen him in the past. He was getting to be a little bit boring. We're seeing Chase Sexton definitely has the ability. Eli has had the ability, but I don't know if he's going to be able to run that pace. He's just much older than Jetson, and Jetson's riding style is something that can't be matched. The closest person we've seen is maybe Chase Sexton be able to match that style, that fluidness, that efficiency and speed, but he's still even a little different than Jetson. The reality is this. Like I said, we are now seeing, we've never seen in the history of the sport, and make no mistake about it, Jetson's contract is the biggest contract ever written in our sport. And then you add in the VIP experience, and now we see a lot of all the other big factory teams now are offering some sort of VIP experience, because you cannot just allow, the industry would have probably loved to only have, Jetson. He gets the fanfare, the Lawrence Factory Fun Fest. I mean, they actually called it that. But now you can go to, buy a VIP experience at Twisted Tea or Star Racing. The other teams are starting to do that. And all they do is get some rider or ex-rider like Jeremy Martin or whoever, Adam Intignap over at Twisted Tea, to run these things, right? So you get to walk around with an ex-pro and tour the truck and maybe get, guaranteed an autograph, not have to stand in line for 2 hours to get it, probably get a complimentary lunch, paying a couple grand to do that. Maybe some, industry seating somewhere. It's probably, a fun time, but it's not a cheap date either. And it's really, this isn't all going to the teams. This is profit sharing. So the only reason the industry would have never, ever allowed this, but the Lawrence brothers really ushered all this in. And I don't know Lucas Myrtle. I don't know about him. I never really kind of, just based on when I saw this guy on camera, I was always kind of like, I don't really know about this guy. But it wasn't something that I was like, I better record a video about the guy because I don't trust him. He really opened that door. And the reality is this. I don't think he's as pure as the driven snow. I don't think he's squeaky clean. He never came off that way. And where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Unfortunately, I think the industry did target him. And the Lawrence camp basically, I mean, if I was the Lawrence camp, I can't 100% blame him. Like if I found somebody who was misappropriating funds for their own personal use, even if it was justified or going to be paid off without my knowledge, if it was a little bit shaky and they wanted a reason to get away from the guy, they took that opportunity to do it. And final thoughts that come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now, they're shark infested. Lawrence brothers, welcome to the swimming pool. Kind of pulling your covers a little bit, man. I could tell when I saw after the Washougal race, and this is something I've noticed for a while, Jetson really enjoys this being one of the riders. I saw him, they're talking to Chase and Tomac prior to questions being asked at the presser, and I could just tell, like, he's just stoked that these guys are not just don't talk to me. Like, they're actually talking to him. They respect him. They know he's fast, but he's still a little bit bubblegum in terms of just being a kid. And that's fine, right? I just unfortunately think that he's just part of the machine now. I don't really think he likes it. At some point, we are going to see him probably grow into a man and try to break away from this whole dynamic that's currently in place. But one thing's for sure, the Lawrence brothers, the industry sucked you in, gobbled you up, and you've changed the fabric of the industry. And I'm not necessarily sure it's in a good way quite yet. There is a lot of good, but there's always going to be something not so good that comes along with that, a price to pay. And I think there's a chance at some point you guys might pay it. But in the meantime, Walty will be here to blow the lid off at every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.